The people are being informed of the details of the town council meeting. To see what we do. Can I ask if we've got all of these vaccines? And the thank you. And are there any declarations from the universe? No? Public question time. Any questions? Two questions there. Both submitted by Councillor Simon Pike. The first being when Thatcham Council has commissioned consultants to develop a feasibility study for the Thatcham Community Health Visit using external funding that must be fully utilised by March 2025. The Town Council has two interests, both as the leading representative of the community and as the representative owner. Could this meeting of full council be given an overview of this project and any engagement so far? Any views expressed on behalf of the council? Could I ask Councillor Longevity to start?
Madam Mayor, I thank Mr. Pike for a very timely question. That would be the best case person for I'm chair of the Council Committee, but was the only council present at the meeting that held thus far. On the 17th of December, a meeting with consultants was held in this chamber. I was joined by the clerk and our place manager. The meeting was aimed at eliciting which is the opinion in the designing of the exchange for the entire County Road, potentially covering pretty well every service provided by owners and organisations that are going to be served by Brownfield Road. I think most people that know the area will realise there's a bit of organisation. The rush and hurry was fucking ideal. So, money is a pretty the funding exercise. Our project actually agreed, consultant appointed, and the work completed and payments made in March 2025. In any area of life, this would be a tight time scale. In local government, it is. There wasn't only councillors we could find to attend a few days notice in the week before Christmas. I feel I give an account and some useful, I hope I'm giving some useful input to the consultants. You'll see what they have made of it in a few time. I expressed views on behalf of the council. I think that is true. But with a news, twin team through an committee or through the council and have been resolved. I hope somebody gave to the consultants was something that was fairly accurate in terms of what the council has been looking to achieve over years. I'd like to say that I still provide information, e.g. land ownership and tenures, and that Thatcham Town Council wish to see Thatcham stretched from just being the Broadway up High Street to include the we have here, the Cricket Club, the Memorial Building, with two car parks. The message I want to send to the council and to the public is twofold. Neither I nor the Thatcham Town Council staff have committed Thatcham Town Council to anything. No specific plan, no specific project. Secondly, no decision that affects town council land could be made without the town council making a legal decision using due process for such a situation does not involve the council, and I am quite sure you need to any binding decision on anything made. Can I ask you whether there is there a supplementary report?
On supplementary, thank you very much, Councillor Jeffrey. I learned about this and I thought it was used, given that it has to be widely disseminated, it was useful for this meeting to be told. So I have one comment about this. One change that I secured in the draft of the local plan was the statement that some of the infrastructure being provided by the North-East should proceed would be used off-site and therefore could in principle be used to contribute to such development as Councillor Jeffrey has described. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Piper. Have you got another question?
Question from Councillor Knight. Following the decision of FNGP to allocate £4,000 towards the project, management seeking legal advice in relation to the proposed revised local plan, the committee of the council has responsibility for defining the brief and any legal advice that the council might be to obtain.
I recommend that this be delegated to the Planning and Highways Committee to draft the brief. We also the existing local plan authorisation previously delegated to that committee. That we got to the minutes. To take as ready first, but the minutes of the meeting on the 24th of November 2024. We'll have things up. Things do I have that those in favour. So everyone, thank you. Are there any requests for feedback? Move on to the report. Been busy again, especially leading after Christmas. On the 27th of November, Petra and I went to Germany's retirement home. They have lots of actually. They're trying to get very involved in the community and really had a lot of opinions and recommendations to offer, but also lots of questions which hopefully you were able to yourself. On the 30th of November, I haven't got a picture, but it was in the Weekly News. There was the Name the Bear bin presentation at the Memorial Park. It was a competition for a bin that's shaped a bear. For them to have the name. I believe the winner was called Binny the Bear. Thanks in Holborn. December, they went to Swings and Cutscenes Carol Service, which was like no other Carol Service that I've ever been to. It was complete chaos. The children running around and making heaps of noise, and Chris Tarrant more or less doing the same as well, actually. And then on the 4th of December, I went to Daisy's Green, and we were so embroiled. My consort and I in talking to everybody there that we got to the picture, but it was really, really interesting. And you might know the council give a grant to them for the really good work they do for children who really. And they did do a presentation to update you on, you know, basically what they're doing with the grant money to give them. So that was not with something to reach out. And on the 6th of December, we judged the Christmas window display. And that's the winner. I don't think it's a very good photograph, but it did look really lovely without a word mentioned. And of course, on the 6th of December, also we had the Thatcher Light switch off, which was really good. See, you know, it was very busy. Unfortunately, we managed to keep the whole thing for the but that was later, so we were really happy that the weather wasn't as forecast. And then the next day was meant to be the Christmas market, but because the weather was really bad, and unfortunately that was missed. But then it was nice and sunny and dry with the children. And most people I did actually just shake their hands. It's my actual best.
Straight up.
So it's really well. And picture is the winners of the Christmas card competition. And just to let you know as well, we invited the Lord Lieutenant and he sent his deputy. And she sent a very nice letter saying she's not been to a council that was so very nice. And she really enjoyed it. And she learned all the pies and not the one as well. So it's done really well. The 9th of December, you might not remember the very snowy day we had. But it was a and the kids absolutely loved it. It was a cold day actually, but not cold enough. So, but yeah, that was that. There was sleep down. There were so many families there and children, and that was really good. And on the 11th of December, if you want to see the video, you just look on Facebook. Sonny Brown's dance studio. They made the video of all the rest of the Santa dancing through the town. It's very good for music lecture. Lots of music, so it looks really pretty town. They even did a thing where they walked across the road and the lorries all stopped for them. They were dancing across as they were crossing. That was really good. And then they came here and I did a little bit of dance with them at the end. But it was quite good. And then that says sorry, at the Christmas memory tree in the cemetery. I went up there and passed the photo of St. And I've seen all the messages that were actually left on the tree and was still plenty. So that's obviously a service that's really well used and appreciated. And I went on the 12th of December, I went to the memorial service at Greenham for fallen US servicemen. And that lady there came all the way from California to lay a wreath for her grandmother, and her daughter came as well. So that's really lovely. And I also went to the vintage Christmas celebration, which I have got a photograph of here. And that's the Trinity Christmas concert that I went to on the December, which was very good. On the 13th of December, the photographic club came here to present us with a D-Day book, but photographs they took, but the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and it's a really, really good book. It's here in the council, if you might have it. If you're interested, it's a really lovely memorabilia to have that day. And then on the 14th of December, there was a Thatcher Library Christmas event, which I didn't have to travel. It was absolutely packed, and there were children and parades and things like that. There were also things for adults, Christmas quiz, and it was with all ages. There were families in there, old people in there. It was a really, really good event. It shows how important our libraries are. Those sorts of things. And then on the 17th of December, I went to the opening of the Dr. Rudgley room. Unfortunately, Dr. Rudgley had to retire suddenly last year, and they've opened a room that's going to be used for therapeutic things, meetings, all sorts of different things in the community, meetings with clients with mental health issues, things like that. So it's a room that they hadn't had before, that people from Mansfield can use. And that picture is actually one of Dr. Rudgley painted himself. So it's interesting. Then on the 18th of December, sorry, I forgot to say in between all of that, I actually had a cold and had to slip in with a couple of events, very last minute, so I just wanted to say thank you to her around. On the 18th of December, the Salvation Army used my court on the carol service. That was really good, and all the residents thoroughly enjoyed it. And then I went to the carol school concert in the evening. The carol concert at Kennett School at St Mary Church. And then really on the 9th of December, I went to the Cold Ash Christmas concert. They've now got a new musical director who's just standing in the corner there. I was a bit worried about somebody being able to replace Jim, but he was absolutely fantastic. He'd been in place for 3 weeks, and the music they played was phenomenal considering. He was going back to Joker and did a bit of a sort of comedy acting night in between the songs. And actually they did a Christmas that he called me up to do. He is really good. I recommend with any music director. It's very good. Then on Christmas Day, I went to West Berkshire Hospital to visit the patients there and carry out a Christmas service. And it's always really lovely to do that. The patients are very grateful for they have volunteers go in and give them Christmas presents. And they bring all of the patients out to actually have Christmas Day together. Table, as you can see, with decorated tree. And they do try and make it as nice as possible for people who have to stay in hospital at Christmas. On the 4th of January, I went to the men's breakfast. It was a really nice breakfast, I have to say. It was very brilliant, and probably most of their members turned up that morning. And I did a presentation about my work with the Suicide Prevention Action Group. And it was very interesting because although they did ask some questions, and they asked questions of the mayor, and they asked questions about the work we do. And most people know it's fully called people with suicidal and looked at the indicators like that. Afterwards, there was a few more people who to talk to me about their personal situations, and that's what I found really interesting because I think this obviously means there's a need and sort of thing actually. And we actually got thrown out by the police in there. That was a thing very worthwhile. The 9th of January, I went to the Student Art Exhibition at Base, and this is basically all of the schools in the area, and including the Base and Stoke and Didcot, was to submit their 10 best student paintings, sculptures, various works of art, and then the best ones got displayed. So there was work there from Trinity, Kennett, I think maybe one from St Bart's, then the Council School, the College, Newby College, and some of it was amazing. And the organisers actually said they found it really difficult this year to actually pick up the winners. They had such good entries, so that was a really good exhibition to go to. And on the 10th of January, I was asked to present the awards to the sixth form at Trinity. That was a really good night. Then the West Berkshire Volunteer Fair. I'm thinking of sacking my photographer. It's an important person, isn't she? It's going to be that. That's when we were looking. There's my name. But everyone seems to be having a chat there. It was really good, and it was packed up with obviously with the stalls, and there was a good platform as well to actually hopefully sign up to be volunteers. And on the 15th of January, I was invited to serve at a primary school parents evening, where they were being told about the new English curriculum. And one of the things they did, possibly to make sure that parents did want to come, was they invited the children. They wanted them to bring their children in their pajamas. The children would go and have like a story time and obviously the children will be able to do this flag there. It's belong to the parents. And was that very right. And lastly, to the cancer support 6th birthday party in charity. It was emotional meeting. People will talk very openly there about their feelings and the support that they can see. And very, very very good time.
It's been quite a couple of months on me, and I've been able to keep myself very busy and not tired. So I in the council offices on the 28th of November, doing a rag wreath making. It was wonderful. All there was old shirts and tablecloths, and made a lovely discussions out of those. And then I was council offices was a Christmas decoration workshop by the town council, and there was lots of different bits that you could paint, tree decorations. You do as many as you like, so I think I went home with about 7 or 8. There's good presents to give away on that day as well. On the 15th of December, I think this was one where I was standing in for the mayor, but you weren't very well, but went to the Arlington Arts to watch The Snowman, and that was the Vantage Band. They are amazing. You had the film showing, there was music. Oh, it was fabulous. It was a really, really good to do. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. And then in the evening, I carried on to Hungerford and went and attended the mayor's. Then on the 16th of December, I was at Palestine Court. It was the Christmas party. I had a singer in who was belting out all the lovely old folk music. Some of the people up to dance, and then we all had something to eat with some cakes. It was really, really lovely afternoon. And then lastly, on the 19th of January, I was at Shaw House attending the Indian Congo 2025 event. I'd never attended one before, and it was really, really lovely. I can only liken it to our Harbour Festival. But it was such a wonderful event. There was playing the team. They were in the fire, and the rice was all boiling over. It was a really, really wonderful. And I'm just hoping that things step up over the next couple of months. That's it.
Great. No problem.
Thank you. The next item is the budget and pre-set 2025-26.
Madam Mayor, I wonder if I might crave your indulgence and one who very relates to the total report actually £10,000 for practical fees of 20,000 for food and is probably that we will have for that. The across the board as well as the HR provider, etc. Probably been nowhere near the to the budget itself. First of all, I'd like to thank all of the councillors around the table for all their considerable input into the budget. It's been far from the
we have one to two. So there, despite considerable headwinds, which I'll come to, that we faced this year, which we will be facing in the new financial year. I'm very pleased to introduce a budget that keeps our finances strong, as well as introducing a range of measures that will improve the services. First of all, we have and indeed to keep our play areas safe, absolutely vital for our young residents. So we will be replacing equipment as we have done this year as it ages and becomes the environment. And we will be continuing to repair and replace the areas of wet port we have in our playgrounds. The majority of our playgrounds, we have a substance called wet fill, which is basically a springy surface. So if the residents feel over, they don't spread their knees on tarmac, etc. Absolute further. Playground literally back up again. Whereas if that surface had been there, she would have been fully injured and told me so. And we also, when for playgrounds, we will also be continuing the inspection of every piece of equipment on a weekly basis to ensure that it's safe. To be of what we do. So while we mentioned our amazing events program. Residents believe it's important to them. It's going to be preserved in full. And includes the and that also includes the stalls, charities and our local organisations used to raise money for their own good causes. Of course, we've also got Family Fun Day, which will continue this year. That's attended by, I think, we did an estimate once, we're particularly busy. Well, today we had about 4,000 people there, but it's also always exceptionally attended. We will continue the Remembrance Parade. Enhanced, has been enhanced over the years. Those enhancements will continue. And we have all the other small one. We heard that bring pressure to the residents and also make the community that it is been over these years. We do face a number of unavoidable pressures. That's in common with we can also put down the land, but most businesses put down the land as well. We are going to have to find money to pay for the increased national insurance contributions, which come on the 1st of April. And we will also have to find money to being way. We will correctly employ on wage. Most of our contractors, inevitably, that is going to push the services that they provide to us, including the largest one, which is our grounds maintenance. We have already had the tenders in for that, and will be a substantial increase. We also have to set aside, which we have done from reserves, £70,000 for the renovation of the wall. Work on, which is some towns become responsible for pollution charges. Then becomes our responsibility. And believe you me, we have looked at every conceivable option to be. So that work will be phased over the next few years. Money to renew the. What's about to the desire to increase and the headwinds that we have. We did have the we could in our services, which would have to be would be to the detriment, obviously, of our residents and to the town. Or we have the past we have chosen, Madam Mayor, the latter to keep our services that we provide to our residents. And just to be absolutely clear, our services are being retained. A lot of them. Keeping the current hours in Broadway to the town. It ensures people stay in the town and don't have to we will not have any reduction in the upkeep of the sector. It will be an enhancement. The new long limited baby will be we still continue with the which will give us influence over various aspects of the housing developments in the town. Just to be clear, we cannot stop with specific developments such as the new town, as Councillor Jeffrey refers to it, the North East development. We will do though, give up the increased amount that we can then use to enhance services to our residents. It's the under resourcing the services within the spectrum that to anyone. It will way. We will also be increasing the number and the quality of the information leaflets and newsletters. Go to be delivered to every household to ensure that residents have access to information. Which will not necessitate expenditures, so will be put forward by the community. Now, Madam Mayor, we also try this comes at a cost, which only partially from reserves, the being a prime facing point, but not everything can be moved from reserves. They wouldn't be massively decreased. There seems to be a modern mania, he said, something like a dinosaur, to weekly downs. So I'll fly a trend and do it myself. The increase in the increase in the investment wage will cost the average fix progress. Madam Mayor, we have to prioritize quality of service that we will continue to give and enhance to our residents. And I am very pleased with this budget.
Do I have a second then? Thank you, councillor Cams. And all those in favour?
Okay. Can we not be voted on? We might be other comments that always like to make them.
So works.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I looked at this budget, was spoken to the leader and the Finance and Joint Purchase Committee chairman. I think you've done a splendid job, absolutely splendid job, in very difficult circumstances. And you come tonight to say we can manage the pressures and we can invest in it, some enhancements in our playground, our events, community events. That's a good place to end up. And we are wrestling with that. I say we, but we're part of the council. We're wrestling with be that challenge on a bigger scale, but nevertheless, pressures on our budgets, the pressures on our services, and you do things for your residents, and yes, you do. Or it is what this budget is doing. And I commend it to this council because it's now, I will say also to Council, this council cannot stop the new town at Thatcham North East, but I can promise the people of West Berkshire, and this is a new reporter I've not met tonight, so I'm speaking to him, the people of West Berkshire and Thatcham. You may not be able to stop it here. We're still trying to stop it in West Berkshire. So we are forced. Coming back to this budget, very, very well done. It ain't easy. Everybody is public finances are, and here we are delivering budget that invests, improves, and protects. And I heartily commend it to this council. Thank you very much.
Is anybody else wish?
If I may, Madam Mayor, I just really want to reiterate that from the chair of FGP. It's an increase. It's an increase in 6p per resident per week. I think that we are getting a really good value for money settlement here. I commend this budget.
Thank you, councillor.
Thank you. I don't want to pat it, all pat ourselves in the but my first year as leader, and it's my first time settling into the day-to-day budget of the close services and activities. And while the challenges are clear, our maintenance contract can increase 17%. That's unexpected, but with good management, we can manage these things. The council's aspirations to provide sustainability and enhance what we currently do, absolutely fantastic. There's very few councils, parks, who are in this lucky position where they have a vision for the future, a timeline to deliver it, and the ability to prepare the council for the work that's to be done in the next years to come, and it just sets the foundation absolutely rock solidly. We manage our budgets scrupulously, and we go through the budget line by line. If you like to shoot committee in order to get as much value for our residents. We I think that's a really great way to explain to our residents. West Berkshire are in a various position where there are too many financial challenges ahead of them. You're lucky that we have to. This isn't just there's an officer team behind us. Crunch the numbers, they do the work. And oh God, how are we going to do that? And then it goes back into the pot and it comes back out, oh, well, what about this and what about that? That's normal. That's the process of these organisations. I would fully recommend that we vote in favour of this safety. The numbers are quite fair, as we spoke, so it's today. Very small, but in our scale, it has delivered so much more. Not just our ambitions, the ambitions of the residents who are here. So I'm happy to recommend, I'm sure.
Anybody else like to? Can I have a second?
I always did.
And all those in favour? Yes. Now go back to you, councillor for number 3.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank councillors for this support to. Scheme 3 is the minimum reserve. Could I probably refer this to the next. I moved several years ago to a risk-based for the minimum reserve. And we moved away from the we didn't need to keep 5% of the precept because they recognised it was getting silly. We moved to a risk-based model, so I would like for FGP to examine that, examine the risks, examine the influence that we have to mitigate those risks and come up with a figure and a suggestion to bring back to council. So I would propose that, Madam Mayor, if that is acceptable to
Not happy to second this, but so wishes. Sensible. In perspective, whether you go for 25 or 30%, you've got a really good underpinning of your finances here. The reason I'm speaking is because West Berkshire Council, we are down to perhaps about 3.5 to 4%. And Councillor Cottingham, creating the opportunity, does quite often work that out and how many days of reserve he must spend before we ambition on the job. It's far too dense at West Berkshire Council. Why do I bring them into it? You've got sound finances here, and it just keeps them sound, whether you go with 25-30% in between. So, happy to second and put it in context. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments? All of those in favour? Everybody, thank you. People in connection of committee meeting. To the people consider reduction of meetings. Finance and general purposes committee minutes, 7th of January 2023 and the 20th of January 2023.
to propose those for adoption, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, councillor Newcott, and all those in favour. Thank you, Ms. Gordon. The recreation and amenities committee minutes dated the 2nd of December.
To propose those, and also just now let it be an action. Number 9. Who would be the proposal of that? Would that come to? Just go for a change for proposing the motion. More like
So it's linked to the event and just.
Can I have a second about the, thank you. And all those. That's great. Planning Highways Committee minutes in 19th of November, 10th of December, which is 14th January.
Thank you, President. I'd like to propose the adoption of those two minutes.
Councillor Lamb, well, you. Thank you, that's great. So, and the event committee minutes of the. Thank you, Councillor Linfox and seconder. And already. Thank you. The next item is the West Oxford Community Surveys, which. Yeah, we were tonight.
No, really need a knee replacement after this. The one thing I didn't mention in the my jitter was that we have a to certain services that maybe cut that much here. We have been the waste paper, sorry, the waste and the dock bins only in the last few weeks. So we have not yet defined exactly what that will do for. Before again, that will be coming to the meeting of FMGP, probably an extraordinary meeting of FMGP, to define what will be what services that we can particularly to our residents that we will really do. I might suggest again, Madam Mayor, in fact, to you, is that we put the point of the library service within that within some discussion to FMGP and then comes back. The way had to be done by 31st of January. I think they whether he would accept money at any time from so astonishingly he said yeah.
Thank you, Councillor.
We're going to have to do a correction here because I believe this is consideration of a contribution in the financial year that we are in now. Please not. Thank you. And you are managing that. You have pressures on it, and I don't believe this council should look to provide anything in year. And thank you, Councillor Cole, for considering actually that 30 will buy you the service or 31 in those. I have never been comfortable with the idea of, if you read this, it was introduced in 2017. Well, that's not council. Come everybody, please give £1 per resident so we can sort your life, please. For some parishes, and initially this council did start to give the contribution. What was wrong with that? Those who didn't still got the same service. That's not equitable. It's not equitable at all. In the future, there are a whole range of services in libraries where you purchase. If you wanted to put a pop library, incentive, you could do so. If you want to increase our hours, the library is open on Saturday afternoon or somewhere, you could do so. And the price of that. Mostly dog bins, gully clearing, all sorts of things in that service category. And that, Councillor Cole, I hope you'll consider as you look at that £30,000. So let's be, we are not to go. But then everybody does that. I agree. We have not decided to cut dog blue bins. It's talked tonight, and we're still considering the result of the consultation, but it won't stop doubt. They're asking in the future, as part of a devolution program, that you might want to pay something to get something. Makes sense. This whole thing here, just give us your money, didn't make sense. It was introduced by a previous administration, particularly
Don't you have to really consider that?
Well done.
All those in favour?
not to give anything for this,
Yeah.
proposing to give anything for this financial year.
Could I withdraw then my proposal? You mentioned it tonight.
And I think the proposal is, I think you can propose this, because I have a bit of a conviction.
We'll see Councillor Luke's working with his foot. Could I propose that we do make a contribution in the current financial year to West Berkshire in respect of the library service?
You certainly have. All those in favour?
How we just see it start.
You need your money.
Climate action plan. I believe council.
Yes, I know. As Councillor Sim mentioned, we will attend the meeting today. I time to make something out on behalf. So the word the climate action plan is the result of the work of a number of people, both from Environmental Working Party and other members who are according to the president and this board. As the chair, it's important to remember that the Working Party does not just consist of members, but former members and outside the committees brought in for their experience. The length of time it has taken to give this plan is reflective of the amount of work and consultation which has gone in. Plan sets the council's environmental initiatives, priorities and action plans. On the activities we promote and run, the contractor we use, and our energy approach to sustainability. Provide the ability of the council's journey towards increased sustainability and carbon neutrality. The collaborative effort which has gone to getting here should provide comfort and reassurance that organisations with a leadership team with the authority, knowledge and commitment to take initiatives forward, can have the ability to drive the change required by the plan. Thank you to all councillors, working party members and other stakeholders that contributed. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McCann.
I'd be delighted to propose this. We'll get some information on that. Bottom right hand corner of page 1. That shows you how much work went into this. Working parties are a fantastic mechanism that we have to our disposal. Every now and again, things come through the system that need to be a little small p political. And members have had input from the working party to individual members of the group. And we must thank Justin and his team and the officers for the amount of work that and the but is we have to do something about it. This be another document we spent months and months drafting, crawling through. It has to be implemented from the top of the council to the bottom of the council. It's to be fully ingrained in what we do and how we do it. If we don't do that, all the others will fall by the wayside. And I think this will not happen with this document. So many members have now be driving it for the 2 lines, making sure something else fall off, it put back on, and attention is drawn to when we do work with our residents. This is a focus for us. Not just an ideological thing, community years. Everybody who's been involved in it, involved in issue number 1 to issue number 5. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a lot cleaner, it's a lot clearer, it's a lot so officers understand what we're trying to do, and I think that's a big step forward for us. And I would do nothing but recommend and thank Justin again for his officers.
So, yeah. Anybody else got any comments? Thank you, Councillor Lincoln. All those in favour? Everyone. That's. Okay, the next item is a consultation on the residential plan review.
So, the document that we put on the agenda on as the covering email. I circulated a final draft yesterday, and apologies for the late submission. It's a complicated topic, as you will have seen if you look at that document. And I have a few extra comments to make today, which are effectively consequential that I spotted afterwards and edits. There are, in fact, actually 4 separate consultations running in period, different legal frameworks and with different processes for decisions. The main modifications to the draft local plan update, which is the main focus of attention, the what's called the sustainability appraisal, map, and that regulations assessments. And that's not very relevant to three of those. However, I have to say, at this stage of the process, the relationship between those decision processes is not clear to me. The consultation closes at midnight on the 31st of January. Actually, I'll go into the content before the process following this. So the presentations are 43 pages long. And the template was supplied by Berkshire Council. They focus on matters that are which have the potential to have influence at this stage. So there may be some issues you feel have burning views about. If they're not there, it's probably because they're not within the scope of the consultations happening at this point. If I go very briefly through the content, it starts off with a welcome representation of things that we welcome that have been changed. And that is in part because I envisage that it's possible that other parties will so we give us support for that, and then we go on to a second representation of things that we believe are still unsound. You see this repeats of what we said before last week. One new element is that it's not widely known, is that there's the very final pages of the main modification says a document called the trajectory, which is the rate at which houses will be built. And it predicts that only 1,760 houses will be built within the current plan period. I therefore suggest as an option, in addition to the 1,500 houses of Regulation 19, the 2,500 houses of the inspector has request the council to consider. That the third option should be considered 1,760 because that would deliver the housing allocation that is required within the period of life plan. Then he does for that. We have two new sites which are in common was immediately adjacent to that is called Land at Hennick Park and Land Regency east of the Regency Park Hotel. These are new, so we can comment on them on full, and I've done so and made some comments about particularly about the sustainability appraisal, where I think some of the assessments are the West Berkshire Council are optimistic in terms of the ability. Two other new elements in here is the relates to the Newbury Leisure Park. The former bowling alley, which is outside the second realist. And we suggest that we can make it more suitable for redevelopment. And related to that, I think actually provided any explanation for that, and our representations of that and the possible implications in terms of housing within that area. So, that we made about North East Thatcher was to strengthen the security, the long-term security of the country park is proposed. In particular, because another document that the council is referencing, called Vision 2050, suggests that that would be suitable for development in the subsequent plan period. So I strengthened that. And one addition that I've made in the final version today is I realised that I needed to make that comment in relation to that site, and I've now proposed text, the same wording applying to the Regency Park Hotel. Same wording, just applying to people we've seen. The summary of the document itself, the consultation closes at midnight on Friday. And the request of the council to forward him all of those representations and then within 4 weeks submit a report, listing them with a brief summary with the main issues raised. And then the inspector will consider those representations and the council's responses before finalising his report. He says that it is possible that there may be a third hearing session, but that's very unlikely. And then he will submit his final report to West Berkshire Council, who will consider the adoption of their local plan with the land modifications. It's not at that point because that is at that point beyond our control. So this document is probably the final opportunity that we will have to influence the content of the plan before.
Thank you, Councillor Pike. That's a good summary of something that absolutely confident.
This before, say it again officially, it's recorded. I think Councillor Simon Pike for doing all the work he's done on this. Anyone else around this table, I'm not going to say that, honestly, capable of the vision, examination of so many documents produced that we all need to be aware of. So thank you for that summary and on behalf of the whole council.
Can I have a second there?
Just to clarify, we're proposing we're the document that was circulated on yesterday. Those minor additions that I addressed today. So the document which can be projected on the screen by the clerk if you need to see it. But I can assure you that the changes that I've made today are consequential and also inconsequential.
I'll slightly have to slightly. Thank you. Great. Moving on to reports, we haven't got any reports on cancer surgeries as there weren't any in December or January. So the next one is report from the district councillor. Councillor Wilkes.
No, well, we talk of the pressures that councils are under. I mentioned earlier, pressures that West Berkshire councils are under. £14 million under budget, £170 million the increase in the year. This year, 7%. £11 million forecasted for next year. This is very, very significant. Amongst that, all of that, we're doing an awful lot of good things. And I'll give you a few of them today. More roads resurfaced than in previous years. More potholes filled. The criteria for filling a pothole is reduced from 50 millimetre to 40 millimetre, meaning that many more potholes are being filled. 200k invested in the Kennet Centre. It's a start of an investment with a roof, which I know has been leaking, and also with refurbishment around the swimming area. Money invested in the Petrol Hub to do a consultancy piece that we're doing this today. Master plan outfitting with the sports field, which is being completed alongside our playing pitch strategy. And I have a link for the 3G pitch, being a 3G pitch being implemented with the sports field subject to the playing pitch strategy. I hope people know that Walnut Close is being re-provisioned for family accommodation for homeless people. And when that is complete and open very, very quickly and thoroughly, we should not have one child breakfast in this district. Amongst all these measures, these are things I've listed to you tonight that are happening here in I have to tell you about all the things that are going on. We will get the budget through, we're going to deliver a good budget, and then in May, I invented the council leaders' statement, state of the nation, so to speak, the state of the district, 10 minutes on what the council will have achieved. Followed by 20 minutes of questions between the opposition, those and question and quiz, and they will no doubt focus on the things we have. Bring it on. We're very happy to defend and fix the huge amount of work we are doing. So I have the opportunity to be helpful, but also with a little bit of a wow. Thank you, sir.
Mine's only a small challenge. I'm in a subgroup within the we have specific meetings to obtain the children and young people's mental health. Those meetings tomorrow. I was very pleased to receive that email from the town clerk, which was a thank you from the management corporate forum. We've leased a building that belongs to this room. They are going to focus upon children's mental health. Tomorrow, I'm going to be able to report back as a specific people who see upon that. So just a small thank you to them.
Thank you. We'll move on to the reports from councillors in their outside reviews in corporate. First one is Berkshire Association of Local Councils.
It's effectively, I think it's seen by most councils as a service organisation. That's like a slight tension, but it is continuing effectively. At the moment, there is there is funding for a limited period for free training from the list of training courses run by the Action Association of Councils. That reserve that enables that will last indefinitely.
Thank you. Dementia friendly West Berkshire.
I'm happy to talk about. I don't really have much of an update for dementia friendly West Berkshire, apart from if anyone's listening after. They do a fantastic monthly newsletter of activities that take place which they support. If anyone is interested, your relatives with dementia, please sign up and get this email to you. It has things going on, not only in Thatcham, you know, Newbury, Cornwall, Field. They do send out a whole host of dementia friendly activities, and it's really worth them. Thank you, Councillor.
Thatcham Library.
The friends had a busy year with an array of activities, including the talk. So, we're representatives of both the local history and astronomy groups. This is well attended and centred around the life of Francis Bailey, who lived in the area, in which was named there she was. And in doing so, I contacted some colleagues of mine, and the children put some beautiful artwork for star constellations, and we had a competition. The star constellations were not named, and the children had to use their research and books and libraries. That's what libraries are obviously intended for, and to work out what they were. So there's some fantastic constellations there, beautiful display, and it really celebrated the life of the
Thank you. Green Article Compliance.
Thank you. The Commission is a statutory body that is set up to manage the different interests of the common. We won't bore you with our lengthy discussions about the number of cattle that can graze the common at different types of year, but I'd like to inform you that the 25th anniversary of the restoration of the common is on the 8th of April, or close to the 8th of April this 2025. And a celebratory event is planned, at which no doubt more information will come out after the next meeting of the Commission, which is this week.
Thank you. Can you run the sports field?
This year, but we are putting together a meeting. However, we need to also have the pleasure of meeting the users of the field and in particular into bingo and for Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, in fact. And it's really nice to see what they want, because obviously it's a community space with the radio, the platform, and the different ways they want to try and use it. So trying to work out what they use really help. And one thing that is making headway, I'd like to say, is the planned installation of the 100-metre distance markers, which funding's been procured by Green Common and the grant, so it's fantastic. To be placed around the perimeter of the field, which is a welcome addition, similar to the one in Newbury, which I was much for the meeting and the installed ones that we have in to the theme we really do want.
You Home Start and Sponsor.
That's me, and I don't have a
Can it level centre?
My screen step. Just from this Berkshire Council, have been extremely busy organising ADs and meetings. We've been good. They've had some gym equipment in there. As a regular user, many of us are. My daughter goes swimming there, and obviously we do use it. It's really good that we can now meet people. So that's a day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Down there, I feel I have slipped to capitalize on old bed. I think our next meeting is in April, and we I don't know how many people are aware of it. It's been running for 5 years. People that who do the helping hand and some services to bring youngsters to get into university, to provide them with textbooks, etc., etc. And also supports in the ancient parish of Thatcham. It supports the Sunday schools which operate in various churches. So,
Thank you. Eco Friends.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I was delighted just now to see the action plan. And as the leader said, it's what we want to be planning, taking the first step, and maybe and Eco Friends. Some opinion with the movement. I was invited to join their AGM last week. They are very committed. They're doing great work on the educational front, looking for other opportunities to get out there and spread the sustainability story, if you like. But they also announced the removal of 3 children. How they count that? A very great achievement, and I'm really pleased to be part of that group now.
Thank you. Councillor Rose.
and they are also the Eco Friends. United with the announcement today that West Berkshire Council will be collecting your plastic pots and transmitting from this week into your green bag. So that is a disgraceful thing to do. How is this?
Councillor Lockman,
Thank you, Monday. I have met with the group in January. There's not an awful lot going on in the movement. But they are looking forward to just getting ready. They have spoken and been doing some fundraising. They have their coffee mornings. I know that you've attended one of them. And we put some money together to, I actually don't know what it's called, but it's when you park on it, it means your car won't go straight through. It's plastic policy. Says what, and then we need to get that down in the next couple of months. So I'm sure there'll be a call up for volunteers.
thank you. Councillor Gladford and Councillor UMP plan.
Yes, I am so looking forward to getting to the point where we can say great photo opportunity where we can bring together all the people over the last 15 years. The work of the funding committee has more or less with a last piece on the memorial field, which one the commission is about the most complicated of all the pieces that are coming into place. I'm hoping to see that happen over the next few weeks, and certainly looking forward to it.
Councillor Memorial Foundation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Jacobs already mentioned the funding uniform scheme. The other large topic of is giving the footpath leading from the Bibbley Close into the field. That is continuing. Still continuing. To pay tribute to Councillor Cottingham, who's the West Berkshire representative on the Memorial Foundation. Putting into seeking to resolve that particular issue.
Maybe the Discovery Centre.
Amen. For the heart spring my step. Well, have noticed, I'm sure that for the health and safety comes first. The arts, is now well near the Discovery Centre, centres, and for a few months, general very soon. That had to be done, and unfortunately, the internet around the lake is running. So it's good news.
Captain Parishall.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The always Park Road from where it was 3 years ago. Some work has been done on repairing the chimney and some leakage into the upstairs room, which will take Dennis Scott to be used. Originally, nothing was said. It's in good hands and it's doing well.
Thank you. Thatcher Relieving Charity and Thatcher Remedial Charities.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will point out that my knees are twice the age of councillorship. Well, I'd have had far more work this evening. Sadly, we do have one vacancy in the arms houses. Due to refurbing the bathrooms and kitchens, particular flat prior to letting out. As to the Thatcher relief in need aspect, we continue to in the community, largely those who fall of the between the gap in the social services that we have in this country. There are numerous gaps there, and we do what we can to do them.
Thank you. Thatcher Sport and Wellness Society. Councillor Mann.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a small report. On at the moment, but I wasn't here at the last full council meeting. So we know that we had a donation from about 3 years this war. I think it was to come towards each other's and hopefully be some more. Thinking we've a couple of skips for some elderly people to help them clear their houses. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thatcher Town Cricket Club Committee. Councillor Boyd.
Thank you very much. I was at a meeting of the cricket club, was it last Monday? Where they had a full house, everybody showed up, which was good. The report of the cricket club is that they're doing everything. Do have challenges ahead, mostly to do with the loss of the top of the field due to food delivery, variation. But we will hear more as things from because it obviously impacts on the meat that the council charge. One interesting point that was raised is that the cricket club will be celebrating its 50th birthday, and not this year, it's a couple of years away. It was brought to. But there was a report from the president of the club who has written history of Thatcham Cricket Club. Cricket was taking place in Thatcham in 1767. So it's had a long, illustrious history. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I can report I've been to a meeting. Good gracious, to say. Representative since I was elected in May 23, and never asked to attend a meeting. I said, well, funny enough, if you don't tell me, I can't. So I went last week to my first meeting. It's all flourishing that they always need more drivers, more volunteer drivers, and of course they're volunteers. We've got a sufficient number of volunteer staff for the office. Previous member of this council, Richard Foster, mildly suggested they might move which they use to a computer. Put them into the. Because they're well used, and I appreciate.
Volunteer. You managed to
Sorry,
Newbury volunteer being very popular assistants.
yes, in fact, it's funny enough, we only really. Don't know how we did. It seemed to be quite so funny, but the thing is. The system, so something for the future. So we might well investigate them. They find us a better replacement system.
You're waiting for AI to be fully developed.
You need to lift it up the door. Julie.
As you know, you and I have been extremely busy with the and so kind of taking on the this kind of the club with some plans moving forward. We need to. But the centre does have a lot of fun events, both regular and ad hoc. We're looking at obviously making sure that the roller disco as well. And so we're in talks with Roller Kings doing that. And a cheeky plug that they are one of the sponsors of Actions 10K. Thank you. Well, it's Shrewsbury, of course. Thank you.
Thatcher Boothbrook School Charity.
I think Councillor Cotton is going to apology for absence.
West Berkshire Heritage Forum.
Well, then, right.
West Berkshire Seaside Prevention Action Group, that's me. The course continues to be very successful and very well attended. I would urge all of the councillors to sign up. It's a 3.5-hour course. You can to speak to people, whether it's students, whether it's colleagues, anybody feel like to be suicide or just impressed, maybe in a way. It's only 20 pounds, because it's a surprise. So I would attend. We are looking at different going forward, and depending on that suicide in West Berkshire. Basis, we look at whether there are particular groups. We have added representatives from Newbury Pride, different group, particularly was transgender, is a particularly vulnerable and recent group. I was contacted by the outreach working in Samaritan as a member of the group, also as a mayor of Thatcher, to work together to look at whether we could do more work with the Western Railway to see if there was more we could do about Thatcher railway station and in terms of prevention, as you know, we have about 2 recent suicides there. So that's the next. West Berkshire Therapy Centre.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Seeing how I sprang up my knee.
Yeah.
I do feel for your knees, Councillor Cole, although I will remind people that you were once the bank manager of that was bank in High Street in Thatcher. You may not all know that. He was my bank manager. I remember saying to him, "How do I stand for away?" He said, "You don't, you need." My thighs and my knees ache. And I'm spring up to tell you that the hydrotherapy centre, to the west of the Frank Hutchins Hall is now starting to come alive on paper and in this room. Councillor Stevenson met with the therapy centre management and they have been out to West Yorkshire Council with a pre-application plan to discuss it with the planning officers there. It's starting to look real. We're starting to see where its footprint will be, where new car spaces will be, the provision of the playground. I am expecting the next few months to see a plan emerge that can be agreed, and then the fundraising can continue with impetus because the plan is in place. This is a live project now. Councillor Boyd mentioning that 2 million is there. It was a couple of times ago, and they have these aspirations to produce something which will be unique in the southeast. It will be extraordinary facility for people with mobility issues. Perhaps Councillor Cole might use it in the future. I really think it's going to be brilliant.
Mayor, could I like to reply? Can I make a personal statement? Just to say, Councillor Brooks's jokes are actually older than his knees.
The next part of the meeting, obviously due to the original, which is 16. Confidentially, we would ask that that be your public table to. So, all those in favour? Okay.
Yeah,